This artwork has been supplied to me free of charge from Fanhome.com. Please pop along to their website and see all of the other build-up artworks that they have to offer, as well as other collections of collectible things. I would like to thank Fanhome for providing me with the artwork so I can produce these videos for your enjoyment and educational needs. If you'd like to build one of your own, pop along to fanhome.com. They're available in many countries worldwide. If you do want to build one, leave a note in the comments to let me know how you're getting on. So thank you once more to Fanhome for providing me with this kit. I hope you enjoy the build. Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models. Welcome to issue 8 of building the legendary Kitt from the series Knight Rider. Everyone knows Knight Rider. You know Kitt. We did the scanner, it was lovely. This issue is one where we're putting some bits together, bringing parts that we built before together and making it into one glorious whole. I do like those episodes where parts come together. But before we get to the building, as ever, we'll have a look through the magazine and see exactly what we're going to be talking about in Knight Rider, the series. Deadly Maneuvers, the military base one, yes, where Michael went undercover, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, there we go. His Alpha Circuit got damaged by towing another car. Apparently, he's an amazing super hyper car, but he can't tow. Yeah. The series Kitt's functions. It uses autopilot, Alpha Circuit, ground, air detector, speakers. Yeah, all the things that he does in there. Is it a car or a spaceship? A little bit of both. Good answer. Yeah. In the world of the 80s, first video games, talking about what we got. Not very skillful with the buttons. Yeah. All good fun. Rescue at the last minute. Who could possibly have predicted that it would have all turned out okay in the end? Yeah, skills of Kitt under a rain of artillery shells. They never actually hit him, and he wasn't sure if he could survive if they did hit him. So he's not completely invulnerable. But yeah, there we go. One of his least used but most spectacular functions is the flamethrower. Yeah, I don't know that we ever saw it again, to be honest. The build, we are finishing assembling the front left suspension and fixing the first wheel on. Then we're adding the front left chassis beam to the assembly. So lots of parts coming together, as I say, getting the wheel activated. And at the end, it will look a little bit like that. The comlink, yeah, this is the watch that does the talky thing. Yeah, communicating with Kitt, the incredible car. A phone on your watch. Who could have ever predicted such a thing would happen? Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it? First appeared in season 1, episode 1. It indeed, and it appeared in most episodes since. Yeah, but there we go. That's that. I'll clear the bench. I'll get the parts ready, including the wheel and the parts from last time, and then we'll start the actual build. So yes, integral to the build this time, we're building with the left side, which is the one with the L written on it, like that. We've got a couple of parts to fix to it. We've got the whole left frame assembly to add on as well, and the wheel. So let's get with it. First of all, we're using KM screws, which are these with the big KM written on them. It needs 2 on each, so let's get 4 of those out, or more possibly. I'm sure we'll be using more as the build goes on. These are brackets. They have L and R written on them as well. So how is it fitting on there? It's fitting on that way up. There we go. And it goes in there, just like that. And the R goes on the other side, obviously, with an R on it. So let's get a couple of these screws in place. Only go one way round, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Quite long screws, these. They're obviously going quite way through and in. Like that. Secure both mounts with 2 KM screws in each, indeed. Like that's going in somewhere. It does. That's in there. Get the other one in the other side. The other screw hole. There, I'll come back and tighten both of those up in a moment. Let's get the other side on first as well. And I can't visualize. I mean, obviously, this is the suspension for the front wheels, but I'm not sure exactly what this bracket will be supporting. It will all become clear. I do like to sort of guess and try and figure out how things are going to fit together, but I very rarely get it right. All of these cars are built a little bit different. I'm building 3 or 4 different 1/8 scale cars at the moment, and it's very interesting, the similarities and the differences. So yeah, it's all good, interesting fun. So let's get this tightened up on that side as well. I think that's it for the right hand side. All of the rest of the build is taking place on this left side. Going in there. We've got the big spring to install next. Let's get this tightened down first. Right, it looks like we're turning things over and maneuvering around. Make sure you get things the right way round. That's that way round, like that. There we go. So yes, I don't need that bit in the middle there. The spring goes in the hole, nice and easy. Then this bracket, obviously with the L on it, goes over the top that way round. That's what that bracket holds in. It holds in that. So that's going in there with the spring obviously then being supported in there. And we need a JM on this side and an IM on the other. So let's get the JM first. This side. And an IM, which is slightly longer, to go through the other side. Looks like one of each left in there. So we'll seal those back up and keep those for spare. Coming through there. Let's have a look without the parts in there again. Actually screwing into there. It's screwing into both sides of this hole by the looks of it. So get both of those in at least a little bit. That didn't even go in at all, did it? It looked like it did. It felt like it did, but it didn't. That is, but that's not straight. That feels better. That's gone in at an angle that's straight now. So that's going in there like that. I don't need to worry about that yet because that opens plenty enough to give us room to play around with. So let's not worry about it while we're getting these in. I'm going to get that in enough and then come back and line up the other side as ever, making sure everything fits before anything's tightened down. I'm going to make sure that that locates through the hole of there, which it does. Then we can tighten these in. Yeah, nearly there. Times like these when I think an electric screwdriver would be very useful, but can't get the same level of control. You can't feel it when you're fully tightened and things when you're using an electric screwdriver. So yeah, best to keep going manually. So that's that going in there. And once this is done, I shall be able to get the spring back in. And then we have to fit the front suspension lower joint 8C, which I think is that bit that was caught in the middle of the spring by the looks of it. 8C, it is indeed that piece. So let's get this tightened down. Nearly slipped, nearly stabity, but not quite. So that's that. The spring in the middle there, like that. So that is now sprung. So this is just dropping through there, actually. That's nice and easy. But then we need to bring in a KM screw. That's the other one that I've got out already. Convenient. And we're bringing in the wheel. So how is this attaching? We've got that there like that. Right, yes. This is going into the middle of that. Like that. Just like that. And then that's obviously going to do the same from the bottom coming up. So let's get the screw through there. Come on. No, you want to. Before I do that, I don't do it like that. This is the other way up. That is going off backwards on that picture, not forwards. So that's going in that way round. It's going to be exactly the same, but otherwise the steering won't join up So let's try that again. Obviously trying to keep lots of things in play at the same time again. So what I'm going to do again is see if this is just going to go into there. Yeah, that'll tighten up into there enough. Then that's still that way round, making sure everything is lining up. Right. And it's just a case of tightening that down, hoping it goes through hole in there. That is indeed connected. And then should connect through all the way. I'm going to take that spring out again because I don't need that in there at the moment. It hasn't actually gone through there yet. So turn that through there, get it lined up and make sure it is going all the way through. That's going through to the other side. So now I can loosen that out again, knowing that the thread is at least in the correct direction. Yeah, it looks like I've taken the paint off there. That wasn't fully in. Why it came to a stop. Try and get that there. Now that's again coming to a stop, so that can't be lined up right, can it? Feels like it's sort of in there, but it sort of isn't. I think it's going to be a little bit of tightening, wobbling, making sure it lines up, and then going back and tightening a little bit more. Or not, as the case may be. That's not tightening up in there. Feels like it should be, but it isn't. It's tricky. Getting the angles right for everything. Yeah, that's definitely not tightening into the right place. A little bit of wobbling, hopefully lining it up again. Try again. Oh, that's not going in there. Right, I'm going to try and do this off camera to try and figure out why that is not lining up as it should. So I shall see you very shortly on the other side when this is attached. Okay, a couple of false starts in there, but I got there in the end. I did have to put the screw through the pin first because there was, again, some paint in the hole. And that is also threaded. Not that bit, obviously, the bit that's in there. I'm not taking it back out again just to show you. But that's in there now, nice and secure, so that's attached. I shall now drop the spring back in place because otherwise I will forget and then I'll have to take it apart again to get that in there. So we're putting that aside for now. We're using a KM screw, which I've got a couple of those out. We are then attaching this and this together thusly. Again, it's going to be exactly the same as we've done on all of these. It's going to be threaded on both sides and probably on the middle bit as well. But hopefully, as it's only, two little bits, I'm going to be able to do it first time without any practice or trial or error. And it's mostly lining up as well. That's all sounding good to me. Get that in there. Clearing out the paint as I go. So far, so good. That's even working. I'm happy with that. That has worked. Although that is sticking out the end there a little bit. But so's the head, so that's okay. I don't think that matters. That's that. Another KM screw. This is going to do the thing. Right, so this, let's take the spring back out again. Move those off there. Right, this is going to be going through there, like what I thought it was. Yeah, so from the top here, go through there first. Right, yes, that goes in there, but it goes through there first. So before I do any of that, let's try this through here and make sure that isn't going to give me the same trouble again. It is threaded in there. I don't know why this needs to be threaded. I wouldn't have thought that it would be, but it is, and that's what we're dealing with. So yeah, come to a stop in there. So that definitely does need to be freed up a little bit. I'm going to try going in from the other side. If in doubt, try the other side. Might work, it might not. But what's the worst that can happen? That's going in there again. So that's going into that. That will strip the paint off of both the screw and the interior of that hole, the thread there. So every time I come back and do this, it should be a little bit easier. That's come all the way through, so I'm happy with that. So before I try and put that in there, let me try just the screw through there, where it's going to have to go. Does it say which side it goes from? It's got it coming from the other side. So let's put it in from this side. That's the same side as the other one, the other side, which makes sense. That needs to go through there. That's quite easy, actually. That working through there nice and easy. And that's going all the way through and out the other side, which is good, exactly as intended. So now comes the tricky fun bit. I've got to take this back out of there, but not all the way out. Just out so it's sticking through the one side and I can get to the middle bit like that. So this needs to go through there. All the way through there like that. Then that goes through there, but not until the spring is in the middle. So just like that, and all the way down a little bit further. And that should now be relatively easy to put through, as long as that hole lines up, which it seems to be, at least mostly. It's doing things. It's not terribly tight to do up, so I'm feeling like this is working. It's getting there. It's doing it up, and things are happening. And now it's stopped doing it up. Right. This is where things are not going according to plan. Something's not lined up somewhere. I think having that bit in the middle has interfered with it lining up through the other side. So a little bit of manipulation and moving and observation to see if I can see where it's lining up, which I can't. But that feels like that's going in again now, so I think that's probably okay. Yep, I can see the thread coming through the other side, which is good. Get that. Lightened up some more. And that should be almost the end of this part. This has been quite a long and involved build, and we know we're going to have to do this again, at least on the other side. Possibly at the back as well, although the back might not be quite so difficult because it's not got steering and stuff to worry about. So that's in there. That turns for the steering. The wheel still turns as well. That does things. That's going to be something to do with shock absorbers in it. That's got the spring in the middle there, so there's a little bit of movement to that. There isn't really. I think there should be. Not entirely certain. But something's working. It's doing a thing. So that's that. Next up, I've got to do the reinforcements here. Is there a left and a right? I'm sure there is. I think it's got an L and an R on it. So the L will be going on this side. Let's get it the same way around as the picture. Oh, it's going through there. Like that. It just says push them in. There's no screws to hold those in place. That's interesting. Some reinforcement bits. Quite a good fit. And I'm sure that obviously the screw holes there are going to be used to do something. So yeah, that works. Right now we need the left chassis beam. Let's have a closer look at the picture and see exactly what I've got to do with that. That's that way round. I think we're going to be using it now, in fact. That's that way round. Under there like that. So that looks like that is going through there with a GM screw. And that then lines up with there. There's two holes, but only one pin, and that bracket's fallen out. Okay, let's put that bracket back in. That's a bit of fit. There we go. Right, so this is going there, like that. And that one goes through there like that. Why is there two holes there? That's what worries me. I'm sure something will happen from the other side, no doubt. So, a GM on this side. And a KM on the other side. Let's get that over the other side because I know where that one is going to be. It's got it pictured in the closest to me of those two holes, like that. So let's try that first. Doesn't feel right. Not that it doesn't feel right, but I don't know. I'm going to say the angles don't line up, but I had it at a slight angle wrongly, so maybe it is right. It does. It feels better now. This one through there into there. That's moving because of things, but yeah, I can see how that's coming together now, so that should be okay, I think. That side isn't because I've just pulled that bracket out again. I don't like this just pushing in place. That's not right for me. Although when the screws are tightened down, it hopefully will be much better. There's two more screws to go through there as well. They do fix from the other side as well, so that's okay. It's making a bit more sense to me now. Get that tightened up down there anyway. Like that. That's gone back into there. That's good. That's lined up on its own. This one will tighten up here. And then two more, what screws? Sorry, GM screws, these ones. We'll go through there. It does line up to the other bit, the other side. That's okay. I'm liking it a bit more now. I thought it was going to be a problem, but I don't think it is anymore. I would say I love it when a plane comes together, but that's a different 80s show that you wouldn't want to get confused between the two of them. That would be very confusing. So we won't do that. Get this tightened up in there. I don't know. That might not be. I'm not convinced that I've got this the right way round now. Because that screws are going in from the other side somewhere. Through the top, middle, somewhere, all the way through. So I think they're actually not going in the bottom here. They're going in the top. But they're coming in those two holes, but not from that angle. They're coming from the other side. Somewhat trickier to do, but that's the way it says. So it's actually got to go through. I can actually see the holes through there. Look, there they go. Apologies, I can't show you that on camera because it's a long way in there and I can't see it at the same time that you're seeing it. Can't even see it without worrying about the camera. But that seems to be, yeah, one of those screw holes is now filled with a screw, as you can just about see through there. Let's get the other one in there as well on the other side. A bit like that. There it is. So that should be that in there. Okay, so yes, that is holding it nice and secure. It's not a problem, but it's, yeah, that's more of a problem putting them in than doing it the other way, but I'm sure it's fine. That'll be lovely. Yeah, you can see them just about coming flush at the bottom down there. So that is that. That is this part of the build complete, as it says on there. Assembled and good to go. Steering's working a little bit. This is the left, so that's the front. So this is going to be where the hood, the bonnet fits on. Yeah, it's getting there. That will do for this part of the build. It's been a bit longer, this one, but it needs to be done. So thank you very much. I'm sure next time we'll probably be building up the other side. So stay safe. I'll see you soon for that or other parts. So thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.